All right, so welcome. Today we are jumping into one of the most, mind-bending statements in the entire Bible. Seriously, it's this one little line that hints at a future for humanity that's, it's almost too big to wrap your head around. You ready for this? And there it is, just dropped in there by the Apostle Paul. We will judge angels. I mean, what does that even mean? This single, pretty wild question is the whole mystery we're going to try and unpack today. We'll look at the two main ways people have tried to figure it out. Okay, so let's get into it. Here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the core question itself. Then we'll find the common ground, what both sides actually agree on. After that, we'll dig into the two main views, one that sees this as a single, powerful event, and another that sees it as this long, thousand-year process. And then we'll see where the real disagreement lies. So, it's incredible to think that this one verse has kicked off this huge, centuries-long debate about what happens to believers, the saints, at the end of time. It really pushes us to ask a super fundamental question about our place in the whole cosmic scheme of things. Think about it. Is our role just passive? Are we just watching God's judgment from the sidelines? Or is it active? And if it is active, what does judging even look like? See, this isn't just some abstract theological puzzle for a classroom. It's a deep question about humanity's ultimate purpose and what divine justice really is. Okay, but before we get into the stuff they disagree on, it's super important to see where both sides are on the same page. There are a couple of key ideas that, for both of these views, are totally non-negotiable. Right, so here's that crucial common ground. Number one, everyone agrees that Jesus Christ is the ultimate, final judge. His word is the last word, period. So any role for the saints is going to be supportive, not in charge. And number two, both sides agree that during that thousand-year reign, the millennium, saints get this special status. They're reigning with Christ as priest kings. Okay, so with that foundation in place, let's look at the first major interpretation. This view sees the whole judging angels thing as a single, specific event. It's powerful, it's decisive, and it happens at a very, very precise moment. So for this first view, the word judging is basically a military term. It means that the saints, resurrected and glorified, become this incredible heavenly army. They're right there with Jesus, helping him in that final battle to take down and imprison Satan and all the fallen angels. It's more about carrying out a sentence than deliberating on one. And what's really key to this view is the timing. This whole thing doesn't happen during the millennium. Nope. It happens right here at the exact moment of Christ's second coming. This act of judging is the very thing that kicks off the whole thousand-year kingdom. And where do they get this idea? Well, a lot of the support comes from passages just like this one in Revelation. I mean, look at the picture it paints. The saints aren't sitting on a judge's bench. They're on white horses, part of the celestial cavalry, riding into battle behind their king. And from this perspective, that's it. That's the whole job. Once Satan is locked away and the battle is won, the act of judging angels is done, complete. The saints then move on to their new role as rulers in the millennium. But that specific judging task, it's over. All right, so that's view one. Now, let's switch gears and look at the second major interpretation. This one imagines a role for the saints that is way more expansive, something that lasts for a very long time. We're not talking about a single moment of battle here. We're talking about a 1,000-year-long process of revelation. So this view suggests that judging is much more of a judicial or even an investigative process. Yeah, sure, the saints might help out in that initial battle, but their main job is to spend the entire millennium digging through the evidence, examining the crimes of the fallen angels from all of human history. And this right here really shows you the critical difference in the timeline. In this second view, the main event of judging doesn't happen before the millennium. It happens during that entire 1,000-year period. It actually becomes the central work of the saints for that whole era. Now, people who hold this view will point you to verses just like this one. I mean, it explicitly connects thrones, authority to judge, and 1,000 years all together. They argue that this sounds a lot more like a long-term judicial function, not just a quick military action. But you might be asking, why? Why would this even be necessary? Well, according to this view, the whole point is cosmic transparency. By having the saints carefully review and reveal the full scope of angelic evil over, 6,000 years of history, God's final judgment becomes undeniably fair. It's made completely clear and understandable to every single created being. So, okay, we've got two pretty different views, right? One is about military assistance, the other is about judicial revelation. And when you really boil it all down, the whole disagreement hangs on one crucial detail from the final great white throne judgment scene in the book of Revelation. See, the Bible says that at the very end of everything, books were opened, and everyone was judged based on what was written in them. So the whole debate about saints judging angels really comes down to one question. What are those books? Okay, so here's the split. The people who believe in view one, they insist these books have to be perfectly divine, infallible records from God himself. No way a fallible creature, not even a glorified saint, could have anything to do with compiling the official evidence for God's final judgment. But view two suggests something totally different. It proposes that God might actually use the investigative work of his saints, fallible beings, to put those records together. Why? Precisely so that other fallible creatures can fully understand and accept the complete fairness of his final, perfect judgment. So let's just lay it all out side by side to make it super clear. View one, the decisive assist. The judging happens right at Christ's return. The purpose is a military victory, and the books of judgment are purely divine. View two, the thousand-year revelation. The judging happens during the millennium. The purpose is to reveal all the angelic crimes, and the books are potentially compiled by the saints to create that cosmic transparency. So in the end, this whole mystery leaves us with a really profound question about what humanity's destiny is all about. Is our ultimate role to be an assistant in the execution of judgment, this swift, powerful final act? Or is it to be a witness to justice, participating in this long, meticulous process that shows God's perfect fairness to the entire universe? It's a fascinating thing to think about. Thanks for exploring it with us.